So Kim Hladek, you have been on our show for years, and you've helped us so much with the AIM program. You've helped me so much with the AIM program. And it's so nice to have you in living color so that we can experience you. You know, when you think about it, when you join AIM, what they want you to do is to send your picture. And so picture is really important, isn't it?
It sure is, because as you can see with you and I now finally getting to see each other, that with the photograph, then we get to see who it is that we're dealing with, and we need the photograph because it's a lot easier to keep track of the participant when they have a question or whatever, then we know who we're talking to.
Right. So Roberta, I have to apologize because my last guest was named Kim, and so she's still in my brain, but you are my Roberta, and you are really, you are the one and all for the AIM program. And if someone's just tuning in now, because we do have different people coming in now to our Zoomer Times TV because they didn't experience the radio, they couldn't get the radio, whatever. So now I want to start kind of from scratch. And for someone that doesn't know what the AIM program is, can you please tell everyone?
Absolutely. The AIM program is a program that allows us to balance ourselves. So it sends energy to us to keep us in balance, in check, sort of, keep you living at your highest, most that you need to be, and keep you on your path of life. Like, for instance, in these times that we're in, it's kind of turbulent times, a lot's going on. We're getting sent a barrage of information, and it's stressful, it's taxing. Being on the AIM program allows these energies to come into us and to help us keep in a little bit more balance. Doesn't mean everything's going to go away in our little bubble, but what it does is it gives us the tools to deal with whatever's going on in our lives right now. So things to balance us, make us feel a little more calm, maybe to see things a little more objectively, kind of help us out, a little extra, like a fairy godmother on our shoulder, excuse me, kind of like that, to kind of help us. And it also looks at our energy pattern, and it's kind of like if you want to think of someone's aura with all the different colors, the energy pattern that we each have is different. So your energy pattern is different than mine, and mine would be different than anyone else, you know, maybe one of my staff members or whatever. So we need different frequencies at different points in time in the day. The AIM program sends these frequencies to us and allows us to pick up the energy and the frequencies that we need to balance us for that day. And it also helps us to remove energetic dispositions that have been passed down to us from lifetimes ago, from our grandparents, parents, that sort of thing.
That's really important that you put that in, because that's going to be my next question. When someone joins, we know that they do send you their picture, and then you give them the energy level that they start at, and then you take their picture and you put it through your computer, and you find lots of things, and you keep working with them until they're at 100%, right? So that's been very exciting.
Yeah, we want your life force to be at 100. When we have 100 life force, that means our body is running at the optimum level. And so that gives us the strength. It also increases our consciousness level, which is very important because that helps us to make better decisions, find our path in life, because we all have a reason for being here. At least that's what I believe. So I believe that we all want to find that path. And when you do find what it is that you're supposed to be here to do, things really fall into place, and seems to, things kind of move in a more gradual, instead of the peaks and valleys, it's more level. And we just keep plugging forward, and we have fun, and we enjoy our life. And that's what we're all here to do, right?
Oh yes, even under these dire circumstances, correct? How's everything going? And of course, you're in Las Vegas. How is everything going there? I know there for a while it was a little troublesome, and then they opened up the casinos. Are you still holding your own there?
Well, the casinos won't be opening until tomorrow. had a little bit of unrest, as you might say. We've had some things happen. It seems that hopefully we're calming down, and you know, that's kind of been what I've been working on this week, are different frequencies to help on our emotional state, because of course all of this, between us being locked down from the virus, and then now things are starting to open up, people are starting to be able to go back to work, and then we had this other issue come up. So I've been kind of looking at that to try and help us, those on the AIM program, with our emotional state, because that's really important in these times, because when we are taxed like this, it breaks down our immune system, and we really can't afford that right now. We want to keep our immune system at its highest level. So with these positive affirmations that we have on AIM, and then I've been also checking some new frequencies to try and help us balance those emotions. I think it's helping us a little bit. I'm myself feeling a little bit more balanced, a little calmer, not as much anxiety. Sleeping is a little better. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the computer, because that was my next discussion with the frequencies. People want to know that, how do you do this? And that would be a super thing to share about using the computer, and how, how it all started. You had this wonderful co-partner, Steve, who is no longer here, but he was a chiropractor who decided that he could do much more.
Yes, he did. He was really into all modalities of health: acupuncture, homeopathy, herbal remedies. He was a chiropractor as well. So he was always into how many things what is going to help our patients to not have to come back. That was his big thing, because he said, if they keep coming back, I'm not doing it. And so it probably wasn't the best financial platform, to be honest, but he had a big heart, and that's what his thing was, is to try and help people to be their best and to feel great. He didn't see that, taking time out of your day to go to the doctor wasn't really in his deal. He really didn't understand that. So we created this program, and he was really good with computers. And then we have a third partner, Evan Slauson, who is our computer wizard. So Steve and I, we came up with a lot of different frequencies, and then between them, they were able to put them into a computerized system that transmits the energies to our photographs. And if you go to our website, which is aimprogram.com, there's a short video, and you can see the trays, and that kind of, for me, it kind of helps me to see things if I can see them rather than try to visualize. So you'll be able to see the trays, and I'll walk you through it and kind of explain to you a little bit about it and how it's done. And then we also have some people on there that have had great success stories with our AIM program. But we do transmit to your photograph, which that's kind of the hard little step to take sometimes, because you're like, our photograph, really? What? And I have to say that when it first came to me, I was the same way, going, photograph, what are you talking about? But then when it works on you and you feel it, then it starts to make sense. So sometimes you have to go on it with a little bit of just kind of trust, I guess you could say. Nothing's negative that's being transmitted. It's only positive, and it just helps you to, like I say, be your best and live your best life.
Well, when you think about it, Wayne Dyer was a very close friend and ally of your organization, especially of Steve, and of course his famous book, When You Believe It, You'll See It. Yep. And that's all to do with energy. Actually, it's all in your mind. And so and I think you are unique, your organization. I don't know of anybody else that uses the computer and the energy. A lot of people are energy therapists, just like we have Colleen Haney down here, and that's what you do. You have people who you work with that follows what your organization does. But for what you actually did and how you created that, it is really, I think, unique, isn't it?
It is. I know some programs that are kind of similar, but as I've been told by some of these people that have different programs, they said ours is far superior than anything. So we pride ourselves on coming up with the earliest kind of frequencies. Whatever is in the news, we try to attack it and get it on the program as soon as possible, because the AIM program is another tool for our healthcare toolbox. It also works not just on our physical body, it works on an emotional body and our spiritual body. It also we have anti-aging frequencies, which I know everybody talks about, you know, wrinkles, gray hair, all that. But the anti-aging is more for the inside out, because if our organs aren't working properly, but we look good on the outside, that doesn't really help us. So we want to be healthy on the inside, and then we radiate on the outside as well. And as they say that we're living longer lives, so we want to live the best life we can. So my job as the researcher and the tester is to come up with different frequencies. I'm constantly researching different things and making sure we have them on the AIM program to transmit to our participants so that we keep up to date. And I never want to be behind the 8 ball. I want to be in front of it. So, and my job. So like today, when I was telling you about looking for new frequencies for positive emotional things to help us all get through these terrific times that we're going through, that's basically what we're trying to do, is keep the AIM program number one. So that's what my job is.
And I've always been fascinated by when I ask you, can you check what's going on with me? And you come up with certain things that you see I'm having difficulty with. And I haven't talked to you about it, but there it is. You saw it on the computer, and then you said that you've worked them out and they're gone.
Yeah, when we have frequencies on the program, we have the hereditary dispositions, which once you clear those, they don't come back. When we have the active frequencies, different emotional states and things, those can come back depending on what's going on in our lives, what we're exposed to, that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely. And it's interesting because when I'm testing you, I'm using your photograph. And so you're telling me what's going on with you. I'm not psychic, unfortunately,
right,
or anything like that. So when it's on the tray, it's using me as a surrogate, basically, to tap into what's going on with you. And you're telling me, the computer tells me in English what's going on with you.
And even though it's an old photograph, it's not the fact that I keep sending you a new one. You just use what is in a photograph, because our photographs tell us. In fact, it's ironic that years ago we would hear people in foreign countries of some, you know, they just felt they didn't want you to take their photograph because you were taking away something from them.
Exactly, because your photograph holds your energy. That's no two people have the same energy. Even if we checked identical twins, they would have different energy. So that's true. The Aborigines never wanted us to take their photograph because we feel their soul. They were really intuitive at that time. They knew. So that's very true. And I can use a picture of you as a baby and I can still pick up what's going on in you today because your energy doesn't change. It's kind of like your fingerprint or your voice. Has tested a strip of tape with your voice on it. I could test that. The reason we use the photograph is for identification purposes. That way I can see and identify who it is that I'm working with. If I had a bunch of hair, I wouldn't know who was who. But I could use hair, blood.
And there are people that do test you, but you're sending the hair and something. But I think what you're doing is a much better way. And as you said, you see them and it's better. Well, I first found this organization when I got a book that they wrote, and that Steve wrote. I guess it was Steve, and it showed how there was a woman who was just about to die from cancer, about 2-3 weeks. That's all she had left. But she actually at that time went to their studio, and I think it was at the time in Las Vegas, wasn't it, or was it out in another place? Maybe it was somewhere else.
We were actually in California.
yeah, California. And she stayed there. And the energy was so strong, whatever happened there, she really was cured of her cancer. Now, that's not something that Roberta likes to talk about, in the fact that, if you have cancer and you come there, you may not have it when they get finished. But what's happened is a lot of people don't use their energy. It's just, I mean, they just, I don't know how to put that, but they're into some other mode, and they're not using the best that they have. And I think when they're with you and your organization, you help them to clear all the other parts of their personality and let them focus in on what the best part of their being is, which is their energy, good energy.
Absolutely. And that was a combination in the book. It was actually a combination of clients that we had, and we kind of put them all into one person. And we have had a lot of people clear up different challenges that they've had in their lives with the AIM program. We do have to remember that the AIM program isn't something we're doing to you. It's energy being sent to you, and it's up to you to take that energy, just like you said, and do with it to help heal yourself. We all have the healing energy within us. We just need to focus on it. And that's what the AIM program allows us to do, is to focus on what it is that our body needs to heal. And boy, we sure could use some healing these days, right?
Yeah, well, everyone's working on it. Roberta HLADEK, who is, of course, she is the co-founder of AIM program, and she runs the program now along with great staff. And I deal with a local energy therapist, Colleen Haney. As a matter of fact, we are having a program tonight that she and another person are doing on Zoom, and we have some of our some of our members and people coming to it, and it's talking about mental health with what's going on. So I love Colleen. She is she's incredible, actually. So you have people like that all over the country, Roberta?
We have them all over the world. We have facilities all over that, and that's what Colleen is. She's one of our AIM facilitators, and then they all do other things on the side too. But as far as for AIM, and it's really, they're fabulous people that we have. They're very dedicated, they're very loving, and they have big hearts, these people that I have that work with us. And what they do is they take the information that I give them and they disseminate it out to the participants. They help you to, from the beginning, to fill out your paperwork, what kind of photograph you need. They can help you if you need a book, if you want information, all sorts of things. They're a wealth of information because they've all been on the program for, gosh, I don't think anybody's been on less than 10 years. So they've all been with us for a very long time. They've all been through the program, and they continue to go through the program because we are, of course, are all works in progress, so we're never done. And they can just help you in so many ways. And that's, Colleen is a fabulous facilitator. She's so helpful, and she has a wealth of information.
Yeah, she does. So when you say that you have facilitators all over the world, you probably don't meet them, though. It all has to be done in person, not in person, but just on the phone, or now with Zoom, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was just thinking of that when we have calls twice a month with the facilitators, so it might be a good idea to do a Zoom call.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's kind of we got to get more technical. I'm not very technical, so thank goodness I was able to do this. I had one of my staff members help me yesterday to set it all up. Right. So that's, yeah, it's great. I haven't met all of them. Most of them I have met, but there are some from around the world that I haven't met, but Zoom would be a great way because I talk to them on the phone. I get emails, texts, that kind of thing, but nothing's as good as seeing them in person or seeing their face.
Right. And I've done this with you for, I think, over 10 years now, but it is different this way. I mean, yeah. I'm just loving this. It is so beautiful to have you right in front of me.
I know. It saves.
I'm sorry, what?
Right now from having to travel, right?
Yeah, right. I have triplet grandchildren, who've just graduated from the 8th grade going into high school, and of course they can't, they're here in Miami, and they've been, the last couple of months, they've been on Zoom for their lessons, and now for graduation, there's not a formal graduation, so they did it all on Zoom. And they had the most wonderful, the teachers talked, and then they talked, and it's a very new world, Roberta.
Oh, it is. I wonder how things are going to change. Are we going to be just sitting in our houses doing Zoom now? Or are we not going to go out?
I think we're going to do both. I think we're going to do a little of this and a little of that. And I think it's going to bring in, we've always had a global economy and a global world, but now there's so many people across the world we've never really we've spoken to them, but this is especially for you, the fact that you have people who are, working with you across the world now, you can do that. And actually you can see your participants, people who just joined you and they need your comfort and they need you to talk to them.
It's going to be a really great tool. I've been thinking while we've been on the call too, I've been going, gosh, there's so many, when you just said that, I thought, there's so many calls that we can now use Zoom for. So, and it's fabulous that the kids were able to continue their schoolwork via Zoom with the teachers and then also with the graduation, because I felt so bad for so many of the students that weren't able to do their graduation. Because that's a big day for you, so glad they were able to do it that way. That's great.
Yeah, and now you have, the colleges are deciding, are we going to open them in the fall? How are we going to do this? They may do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And the fact that, talk about energy, can you imagine someone who, and I have no idea who invented Zoom, it was done a few years ago, talk about energy, a person who had this in their brain or developed to say, why don't we do this? And look how it changed the world.
I know, isn't that amazing? It's just, they got to be, it's kind of like with Steve, thinking of how to do transmitting this. And when we first started doing this, people looked at us a little sideways. Some were eager to, they just caught on to it, or they just had trust in us. And then others, it took them a little bit longer. So I guess it's like Zoom. It's taken me a couple years, I guess, to get onto Zoom.
And I'm so happy that we're the ones that we're first. You deserve that. We deserve to be that with you, because you've created so many wonderful things with us, right?
Yes, thank you. I love classes.
So what we have now is we've just been told by Dan that we have a couple of more minutes, and then what they do is they shut us off. So we'll be able to, this is great. And remember, AIM program, please do get on their website. It's just fascinating. And we'll have Roberta back again, but this is a first for us to be able to see each other, and also for Roberta now to be on Zoom. And just think of all the wonderful things she's going to be doing. And I'll tell Colleen that I think I told her you and I were going to be on today, but this is a beautiful thing for you now, and we'll be sending this Zoom show on Facebook and YouTube, and so a lot of people are going to see you who didn't see you before, who've been listening to you for so long.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you. This has been so fun.
Yes, it has, Roberta. I've loved it. And thank you very much. And of course, I still want to get to see you and touch you and hug you, but this is a good in-between, right?
Absolutely. One of these days I'm going to get there, because I have a new great nephew I have to see.
Yes, you have to see, and I have a spare bedroom, and you can stay here.
Oh, thank you so much.
Roberta, thank you so much for being with us. Roberta HLADEK, and that's the aimprogram.com, showing up from Las Vegas without none of the casinos in back of her. Thank you, Roberta.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Bye.